Before we set the instrument up on its legs and unfold the legs, I thought it would be good to get some close-ups of some of the features here that'll be very difficult to see because they'll be underneath once the instrument's set up. In no particular order, check out the motor. The motor is about 1/4 the size, and of course about 4 times the price, unfortunately, of most traditional Vibe motors. It's a DC motor that will work anywhere in the world. You don't need to get a different motor if you're traveling to Europe from the United States or to the United States from Europe. All you need is the proper plug on the other end. So that little DC motor, it's a very strong little motor, and that's it right here. Just this little tiny thing. It's a little bit, it's maybe about 2 bonbons big. This dial here will enable you to rotate the motor in order to change the tension on this drive belt here, on this timing belt. So you probably won't use that, but if you need to for some reason, you would loosen that, and you can move the motor around slightly to put more or less tension on the drive timing belt. These are the 2 spring towers. In our opinion here at Malletech, you just can't have a professional Vibe with 1 spring tower. It's just impossible. 1 spring in the middle, the damper bar is floating around like this, and it's going to come up sometimes this way, sometimes that way. So we have 2 spring towers, and then this little gizmo right here, this is the dial, or the knob, that will enable you to put more or less tension on the spring tower. And one is for the high end here, one is for the low end there. You can just reach under the instrument when it's completely set up and adjust that. We'll talk more about that once the instrument's set up. You got your 4 locking casters. Right now, when the instrument comes to you, the legs are going to be Velcroed in position because the tension on these is really not quite enough. The legs could open when you're carrying it if you don't have the Velcro strap here. So just take off the Velcro straps that are holding the whole thing together so that you can assemble the instrument, and save those obviously because you use those over and over again every night for the gig. And we'll talk soon about setting up the instrument, but I just want to tell you what these knobs are for. This lower knob, once it's set up, that's going to be the lower knob. That's for height adjustment, and there's 2, of course, 1 on either side of the instrument on that end and 2 on that end. And you'll loosen those, and that'll operate the height adjustment. And the next one up is strictly just for setup and breakdown, and it is the knob that tightens the leg assembly into place. So in order to set up the instrument, you'll have to have all 4 of these loosened so that the legs can swing out. And that'll be the next segment that we talk about. One more thing, I'm going to show you that before we set this up, we're going to have to cut off, there's a protective piece that we ship this. Normally there are more than 1 strap here, but you have a protective strip here that we're going to have to snip this off and take off the cardboard, and that's just to protect the damper assembly here and keep compression on the damper bar so that the damper bar doesn't pop off the springs or something like that in travel. And that's pretty much it for the undercarriage of the instrument.